Eating prime rib on there.
Beating.
Yes. Mine's moving now. I'm good.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right, action.
I thought you was going to ask me a question.
I'm going to. I'm trying to let him. He's got to give me the sign. So we, growing up, getting run out of the motor room as kids. Daddy'd always push us to get on out of here, go play, go out in the warehouse and do whatever. When's your first memory that he said, "All right, you can help out in here"?
I was accepted.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, when did you get your?
Well,
when did you get the nod? Because I can remember.
It has to do with you guys.
Oh, okay.
If you remember,
So it was our fault again.
yeah, it was right around the time Steve was in the Navy,
It's been about
and
78.
y'all went to Hawaii.
78.
So it was somewhere around in there, and I got cut off of a Pony League baseball team because I'd went to a couple races with Daddy just by myself. You know, and typically we always
And
went as
it
a
would
family.
probably been about Michigan
Yeah,
about that time.
It was the
78-ish.
first. It was actually the first Chevrolet race.
Yes, Chevrolet.
but but prior to that, during baseball tryouts, I had went with Daddy and missed a couple of practices, and my best friend's dad was the coach and still got cut. But I probably
Now,
wasn't
is
good
this-
enough
Was it
anyway.
John
Now,
Lamb?
how old was you?
15. I hadn't turned 16 yet, so it was before I turned 16.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And so y'all went to Hawaii. What month did y'all go to Hawaii? You
It would have
remember
been
that?
about August.
So I turned 16 in June, and we drove to Daytona. So it was right around all that same time.
I remember you driving Daytona because you got hollered at the whole way down there.
By Mama and Daddy.
Yeah, you're going too fast.
Yeah, or you expect to get there this week. So anyway, you couldn't win, and so it's all. I mean, you got to realize it's a long time ago.
Well, it's been 40 years ago.
We was there.
And so, like I said, I went to get my license, but I had started working here before because I got cut before. So
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
something
What
had
is
happened.
your earliest
So
memory?
that'd probably been spring,
Yes,
when you
spring
was trying out for baseball.
Pony League baseball,
Spring.
whatever that is.
late winter, early
So
spring.
then y'all all went to Hawaii, and I went because I had been over here working and thought I was able, or they thought I was good enough, and I was actually helping a few times, and went to Michigan while y'all were in Hawaii. Still hadn't been to Hawaii yet, so y'all have.
Well, I didn't get to go to Michigan with the Chief, so
Yeah. So
well,
I guess.
Yeah, but I mean the flowers would have worked like Willie.
you can still go to Hawaii. We can't go to Michigan for the first
No, that's
Chevrolet
right.
race
That's right.
with the King and the Chief.
But it was good, and like I said, I had got my license, and that very day, the place in Randoman was only open on Thursdays.
Well, now you're talking another.
What place?
That was when I got my license.
Okay.
So that was all
driver's
part of
license-
working.
The driver's license place.
And
Oh,
Daddy told me not to fail. And I didn't know if I was going to fail or not. You were 16, you didn't know.
Well, I did. I was confident I would pass them all.
I wasn't.
Yeah,
I was not.
confident.
So got my license, and all that worked out. But anyhow.
Don't fail because he had a job for you.
Yes, I had to
lined up.
drive to Daytona
Yeah.
with them. So
Now, how long was it after you got your license that you and Joe Milliken drove
that
Clyde?
was in August.
And y'all drove to get AJ Foyt Chevrolet, is that right?
It was a Buick, if
Okay,
I remember
Buick.
right. It was
See, I don't
it
know.
was a flat nose, there was a bigger cars then. So I'm pretty sure it was AJ had a Buick, and to my knowledge, I think it was a Hutch chassis, wasn't it? Rear steer car?
Probably.
You have to ask Richie Bars on that.
Well,
one.
I mean, yeah, we'll have to get him in here,
Yeah.
But he was in
but
there.
we went in that old ramp. We called it Clyde, and drove to Houston, Texas, to AJ's, and they had bought that car. They brought it back and put the Oldsmobile body on, and that's what won the '79 500 because that was in '78
Okay.
when we went down
So
there.
where that first Chevrolet you run at Michigan, where'd it come from?
That's a good question.
Seemed like somebody.
I thought that was the one you went and got from AJ.
Mm-mm.
No.
No,
So you went later in the fall or later in the.
where did they get that first Monte
I don't know.
Carlo
I've heard
from?
somebody talk about it, but I mean,
Yeah.
We'll have to.
was
That'd be a
10.
different show.
Yes.
We'll have to do our research. But now they went a year or two later. They went down and bought some leftover cars from LG DeWitt's. Remember that other Monte Carlo that Kyle
now
ran?
Tex and them will tell they know about that,
Yes.
wouldn't they?
So, But the first Monte Carlo, that's a dang good question. I don't
And
know.
I tell you, that's another thing to put on the list if you have Roy in here,
Mm-hmm.
because Roy tells the stories of 3 or 4 months before they went to Chevrolet that the chief gave him money and he went around and bought
Parts.
engine parts, and they were building a Chevrolet motor, but nobody or engine, but nobody knowed about it.
Right.
So you were in the engine room.
Yeah,
working at
but
that
I
time,
mean,
weren't you?
again, I wouldn't
Bit like Gary Wagner that comes
Yes,
by, Rick Potter,
and-
those guys could tell us more about that.
how that all.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and Frank Ruth too.
Absolutely, I
he was
forgot,
around.
that's
He's
right.
still around. But yeah, next
But
question.
those are the questions that
Yes,
that we need to
as
write
it-
down.
yes,
So when these
yes.
people
Yes.
come,
I guess
because those are the things I want to know.
that's right.
They're-
I do too.
You know, no offense, but some of the stuff
no,
that you
that's-
already do know, you don't really. I want to hear them tell
The
the
other
stories.
side of the story, the
You know,
Paul
three
Harvey
sides every
Yeah.
story. We're just gonna get to the other side.
Yeah.
You know, you
Wow.
got my curiosity up because I should know
You got
where
your,
that first one came
you got
from.
you got your pen. Write down any questions. When
I just got paper. I have no
Okay.
pen.
Well, we'll get it.
We don't need it.
We don't need it right now. I just thought he had it on him.
Typically, I do, but
So that was 78. You're working in the engine shop, sweeping up, doing whatever, going to the races.
and at that time, when they switched to Chevrolet during the winter,
Right.
they got all kinds of pallets of not I say pallets, but the crates of block. You remember how they used to come
Yes.
in wooden crates?
Yes.
And spent a lot of time deburring all that casting slag and
But don't forget, you're still in high school too. This is just after
yes,
school
yes,
Saturdays.
and Daddy put me working for $50 a week, no matter how many hours. It was $50 a week.
I've talked to him. He never paid me that much.
Well, I was gonna say,
Well, no, I mean,
I was-
I put more money away then than I do now.
coming in at my earliest memories was Christmas coming in and deburring blocks, and he only gave me $10 a block.
I didn't do your deal.
Maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't deburr them as good as Timmy did.
Well, I know
I was
that-
pretty good
hey,
at it.
I know
with the
Right.
rock.
I know I didn't do good with it because every time I would get in there, there'd come Daddy. Oh, you need to do this, and then here'd come Grandfather. Oh, you got to do it this way.
Mark was deburring a block one time, and I was gone away from here by then. And
That was rods.
huh?
It was pink rods.
Y'all were,
We you know how you do the pink rods? You'd grind everything off
and
and
then
then
shot paint them.
shot paint them. Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, this is funny.
so
Stress relieving them.
whatever burr he was using, it was like
Well, you remember what we had? We just had. I mean,
it was gone.
Whatever we found in the garbage.
And I was like,
that's about true.
you're gonna save yourself a lot of time getting you a sharp burr. I found one. It's like it was life changing for Mark. He says.
It really was. I mean, I'd never,
Yeah, you
I had
know-
never ground a rod with a sharp burr in
I
my
had
life.
some pretty
till
good
that day.
experience at grinding, casting slag off stuff.
oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and I remember several years later, they had not an abundance, but they had some extra engines when they'd go to Daytona and places
Right.
like that. Well, Randy LaJoy with what was the crew chief's name for the 47? Bob, big guy.
Oh yeah, for the racing farm.
He was crew chiefing for LaJoy. I forget the number of the car.
I can. I know
But they leased or rented an engine from here, and God, I can't.
It was
think.
07. That was the number on the car.
Yes, and
Didn't he wreck?
and they were talking about how good the motor run compared to what they had. I don't know who it was. Don't care really.
Yeah, no, it's not.
But
nobody.
and then somebody had got inside of it and seen how much detail work was in. I think they had to pull the heads off because they run good enough to probably go through the teardown. I think. But anyway, just the workmanship that was done up here with the blocks, heads, like Mark said, doing your own rods, and then you started buying Lentz and Carrillo rods after that. But
yeah, we were grinding on pink rods.
for your late models and stuff.
Right, but that's what y'all were running in 78
Back
and
in
79.
Yeah.
right?
early.
Well,
Same.
and Daddy would always take the Chrysler rods, do the same thing. Remember, he had them big old fender
Oh, yeah.
washers, and shop painting was one of my first jobs too. That really had something to do with other than sweeping and cleaning the
Right.
toilets.
But so back where he started at, there you are, summer of 78. You're starting to work here more. Then you probably over the winter work even more.
Yeah,
Then you go to Daytona for the magical year.
Yeah.
I mean, Grandfather, Uncle Richard wins 500. Kyle wins the ARCA race. Lee Boy won the freaking golf tournament.
with the Dodge stuff,
But-
Kyle's in the Dodge, and
Right, but what an experience that must. Me and Richie have talked about it. We was 10 years old, 10, 11 years
Yeah.
old. To be a part of it, everything was perfect that week.
Well, it's like we were saying, Grandfather Petty. that would have been 20 years from when he won the first one in '59, and there, what Richard Morris done up to that point, and then here comes your third generation, and he goes out
On both sides of
and,
it.
and
Yeah, there's
wins.
Kyle
So he's
driving,
walking
you
around-
working on him.
And then-
I never really
and
thought
then-
about it
And
like
then
that.
Richard and Morris, and they win the 500. I mean, you had to be walking on air. But can you imagine the satisfaction that the man had? I mean, I can't. I've never. Hell, I can't even win a scratch off.
No, me
And
either.
this old boy,
Boy, if there'd been a lottery, they should have probably bought him a ticket that week, huh?
yeah,
They'd won everything else.
No, it was definitely good times. I mean, everything was good about it, because Kyle took the older Magnum
yeah.
and with the old 340 Dodge program with W2 heads and whatnot. But that was pre aluminum head motors like you're running now.
Now you was on the pit crew on that '44 car, but you wasn't over the wall yet.
No, I didn't get to go over the wall till I was about 18. That's a whole nother story there.
Well, no, I
How we
know.
got trained for that.
I know.